While we might be excited about the idea of urban air mobility, there's also some question marks about public acceptance. And do we trust the whole idea of these autonomous vehicles being around with us? Well, Pippa Malmgren, who's a co-founder of H Robotics, was presidential advisor to President Bush and has worked with the Mayor of London on what's happening in this city. Pippa, tell us first of all about this public acceptance. We're a bit worried about these drones buzzing over our back gardens and things, and particularly if you're going to start introducing bigger ones. So should we be worried?
Well, this is true, and it's not just an issue in the drone space, it's an issue generally with autonomous vehicles. So, for example, people are perfectly content to live in a world where millions of people get killed in a car accident every year, but one accident which kills a person from an autonomous vehicle creates major news headlines. And so there's a discomfort in society generally with autonomous vehicles. The aerial version, which I'm a manufacturer of, I think there is a need to distinguish between toys, which are now ubiquitous, and industrial tools. I'm in the business of making tools for industry. And so I deal with this lack of comfort by mainly operating on corporate sites, for example, mining sites in Africa, or oil and gas properties where you're in a controlled, contained environment, and then people feel much more confident about their use. What I suspect is going to happen, though, is that the regulators are going to get less and less comfortable with the idea of people manually flying drones, especially in urban areas, and they're going to try to push everybody much more into autonomous flying where there are known routes and known paths, and usually with a purpose as well. So in urban areas, I can see things like not just delivery of humans from A to B, but also things like delivery of organs between hospitals where it's a known point-to-point transportation of something that's urgent for human life. And I think as people get more comfortable with those things, maybe they'll get more comfortable more broadly. But I think there is a distinction to be made between tools and toys in the drone space.
Well, of course, we see a lot more of them anyway, don't we? I mean, they're available in every shop. How are you going to stop that, and how is that going to become autonomous?
Well, I think what's already begun to happen, at least in the United Kingdom, is the regulators are requiring registration. I suspect over time they're going to require the toy makers to have some kind of beacon system that alerts people where they are. We've built that into the drones that I make. We call them HiSight, and all of our drones are tracked and logged 24/7. You always know where they are. You can see on your mobile phone where they are. In fact, they alert you if they're taken off your property so that they can't be stolen, they can't be operated with someone unless they have a login and they have a key card. And what we've built for fleet management. So this is the opposite end of the spectrum of a toy a child is using in a backyard. But again, height limiters, such a simple thing, but I suspect height limiters are coming so that you can't fly a toy drone above the 400 feet limit, as an example.
So you would see us being more autonomous, more of them, and doing good as well. It's not just about carrying people, it's about carrying product and services.
Without a doubt. And in fact, I think it's a mistake to think of urban mobility as strictly the delivery of a passenger. It's also the delivery of crystalline lenses into the sky, because that mobility permits you to map and to scan and to have knowledge of an urban area that will improve urban life. And I do think that this business of providing that information is so useful, but the public doesn't really understand. I'm always being asked, what do your drones do? And they assume that what drones are for is like deliver a pizza. And I say, well, actually, drones are not so good at delivering stuff or people yet. They may become so. But what they're really good at is gathering data. And everyone goes, what does that mean? Because this requires a different thought process. And I think this is the key area, and this is why I'm writing a book about this subject, about drones and their commercial applications and the many good things that they do, because it's out of sight and therefore out of mind for your average person. All they know is the buzzy toy drone that's in the backyard that's bothering them.
Great. Pippa, thank you very much.
Thank you.